Dragonling, Chapter 4. I guess if we're going to be together a while, I ought to give you a name, said Derek. Are you a boy or a girl? The little creature didn't answer. It had spied an insect of some kind on the path, and it was all bent over, nose to the ground. Suddenly, the insect bit it. Ronk, ronk, it screeched, running over and shoving its head up under Derek's shirt. Will you get out of here? Yelled Derek, giving the creature a push and pulling his shirt back down. I'm not your mother, and I don't have a pouch. The dragonling lay down and curled itself around his legs. You're the sorriest excuse for a dragon I've ever seen, Derek said, peeling the orphan off his legs. Then he noticed its belly. You don't have a pouch either, he said. That means you must be a boy. Huffa, huffa, the dragonling sobbed, rubbing his nose with his forefoot. It's only a bug bite for pity's sake, said Derek. You have to toughen up. I'll give you a strong name, a powerful name. Then maybe you'll try a little harder to live up to it. I will call you Xantor, King of the Dragons. Xantor whimpered and pushed his head under Derek's arm. Well, Derek said, maybe you'll grow into it. By evening, Xantor was moving very slowly and stumbling often. It's been a long day for you, hasn't it? Said Derek. We'll stop now and camp for the night. Xantor moaned softly and nuzzled Derek's pocket. The sugar's all gone, said Derek, but I'll get you some milk. He set to work milking Dorlass, and when he had filled the water skin, he held it up over the dragonling's head. Drink, Derek said, letting loose a stream. The milk squirted in Xantor's eyes and dripped off his nose, but he made no attempt to drink it. Didn't your mother teach you anything? Said Derek. He opened the dragon's mouth with one hand and squirted the milk in with the other. Xantor started to sputter and choke. Derek stopped squirting, and the little dragon shook his head and spit all the milk back out. Look, said Derek, it may not be your mother's, but it's all we have. Xantor clamped his mouth shut and refused to drink it. Derek shrugged. Maybe dragons didn't nurse their babies. Maybe baby dragons ate regular food right away. It was worth a try. I'll be right back, he said, shouldering his bow. You wait here. Derek didn't know whether Xantor understood or whether he was just too tired to move, but whatever the reason, he obeyed. There were plenty of animals in the mountain forest, and Derek was a good shot. He quickly brought down a small glibbit and carried it back to Xantor. There, he said, laying the animal at the dragon's feet. Now eat. Derek sat down and laid out his own supper, some bread and cheese and a big cluster of barley berries. Xantor sniffed at the glibbit. Then he whimpered and began digging a hole. The next thing Derek knew, the dragonling had buried it. Hey, said Derek, what are you doing? You can't save that. You have to eat it now. We're moving on in the morning. Derek dug the glibbit up again. But when he turned around, he found Xantor happily munching on his barley berries. Well, I'll be, said Derek. You eat barley berries? What else do you eat? He went into the woods and gathered all the herbs and nuts and berries he could find. Xantor gulped them greedily and followed him back to find more. At last, they were both full, and Derek set about building a campfire. He gathered sticks and dry leaves. Then he took out his flint and struck it against a rock. A spark flew out and landed on the leaves. Derek blew on it. It flared a moment, then died. Derek tried again. This time, Xantor bent down right next to him, staring intently. Derek blew on the spark. It sputtered and went out. "Drat," said Derek. Then suddenly, whoosh, a stream of flame shot by his nose. Derek jumped back. It was Xantor. Xantor was breathing fire. In no time at all, the campfire was burning merrily. Xantor sat back on his hind legs, looking quite proud. "Wow," said Derek, "that was pretty good. I didn't know you could do that yet." Xantor thrummed happily, then curled up next to the campfire and went to sleep. Derek stared at him. "You really are the strangest dragon I've ever heard of," he whispered. Then he rolled his blanket out on the other side of the campfire and lay down. The night was dark and damp, and the woods were full of strange calls and rustlings. Derek began to wish he were home in his own warm bed. He missed his family. Perhaps the little dragon felt lonely too. Because before long, Derek heard a soft scuffling, and then a small body nestled up against his own. And boys and girls, a glibbit is a small weasel-like animal. And that was chapter 4 of The Dragonling.